Hi guys, it's Allie. So today's video is going to be what I'm calling Thrifty Tingles. In a recent update video, I told you guys that I wanted to try a sort of hybrid of the Thrifty Thursday concept and a regular roleplay. Because that was something that I just wanted to do a bit more of, because you guys seem to all really love role plays. However, when I put that video out, the update video, I received an overwhelming response from so many of you who didn't want me to do away completely with the Thrifty Thursday format. So I've listened to you guys and decided to try something different from what I originally intended. So what I'm going to try now, as a sort of compromise, is to do a Thrifty Thursday type video and alternate that with a roleplay, just a regular roleplay. So last week, you guys saw the phrenology roleplay, and this week, I'm going to just do a regular thrifty video, and I'm calling it Thrifty Tingles, because it's obviously not Thursday. Now, it's been a while since I've done a Thrifty Tingles video, and I know that some of you are new to my channel and may have never seen one. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Thrifty Tingles, it is a series of videos where I visit a local thrift store in search of tingly items to share with you. Now there are 3 basic rules that I have to follow. Rule number 1, I cannot spend over $5. Rule number 2, the item or items that I purchase have to be not only tingle-worthy, but also useful to me in my own life. And rule number 3, each time I visit the thrift store, I have to donate an item of mine, something that I'm not using, but could be of benefit to somebody else. Now there is a little bit of traffic background noise right now that I apologize for, and I hope that it is not too disturbing to you. However, I have a solution to that problem that I'll be implementing very soon. So I've got my binaural microphone here today. So as I show you my Thrifty Tingles items, I'll also be doing a little bit of ear-to-ear whispering and soft speaking. So I hope that you enjoy. So, on this trip to the thrift store, the items that I donated were some old baby clothes that used to belong to my son that he doesn't fit into anymore. And also some baby books that he's too old for now. And I found 2 items that I'm really excited to share with you, because I think they're very cool. So the first item that I found you a little bit more about. And the other item that I have is this Chinese abacus. And I was very excited to see this at the thrift store because my little boy is just about at that right age where he's beginning to show an interest in numbers and counting. And this is a very ancient tool, but I think it's still a great thing for a kid to have as they're learning. So I'll show you this in more detail as well. Okay, so I want to tell you about this neat candle. Before finding it at the store, I had never seen anything quite like this before. I just thought it looked really interesting. And if you've watched my channel for a long time, you know that I quite like candles. So I love the look of this, but I thought there was more to it than just looking cool, so I looked it up. And this is kind of a used version of what's known as a product that's known as Candle by the Hour. And the way it works is really interesting. And it's actually super useful, as well as looking really cool. So, what you're looking at here is one really long coil of beeswax. And beeswax is apparently really one of the best materials to make candles from. So this is one really long coil. I'll show you kind of inside of it too. You can see that. It goes down all the way down. And this is a clamp that opens and closes. And you can pull the beeswax coil up through the clamp to whatever length you want. And the reason that it's called Candle by the Hour is that based on how much of the coil you decide to pull through the clamp, you can determine how long the candle will burn, which is a pretty unique thing. Most candles will just burn until you blow them out, or until they extinguish on their own. for each inch of the candle that you have up through the clamp, you'll get 20 minutes of burning. So this is more or less an inch. So this is good for about 20 minutes. If you want a full hour, you would just pull up 3 inches. Well, 2 inches from here. But you would have a 3-inch section. And as it burns down, it drips very minimally. And once it reaches the metal, it will extinguish itself. So it is also has a sort of safety feature because of that. So if you leave the room or leave your house and forget to blow out the candle, it will extinguish itself as soon as it burns down to the metal. Now this design is one of at least 2 designs that they have. There might be more, but there's another design that is not vertical like this, but it's horizontal. And I saw it online, and it looks really interesting. Now, brand new, this looks kind of different. This has definitely seen some use. And the coil isn't as neat and tight as a brand new one. But I've tried it out, and it still works just fine. And it's an unscented candle, but the beeswax itself does have a sort of light, sweet scent, kind of like honey. So it's not totally unscented. But I like this candle so much that once I've used this one up, I may just buy a new one. But what's awesome about this one is that it was $3 at the thrift store. But the candle by the hour product, brand new, retails for between, I think, $30 and $50. So I got a pretty good deal. I also really like just the way it looks, because it looks kind of steampunky to me. I don't know if it's meant to look like that or not, but that's just kind of the look it has. I really like that. I'm gonna light the candle, I think. We can watch it burn for a little while. Then I can show you my second item. It's a pretty good size flame. And it gives off a decent amount of light. I really like the sound of a flame when it kind of flickers. So let's see if I can make that sound. I don't want to blow it out though. Kind of experimenting to see if this is a good trigger for anybody. But I'm enjoying it. Okay, so now I'm going to switch shots, and I'm going to show you my son's new Abacus. And I thought I would give it a little detailing because it's pretty dusty. It needs to be cleaned. So I'll keep our candle burning. While I do that, and then I'll show you briefly how a Chinese abacus works. Or as much as I understand. Okay. So let's go check out the abacus. So here is my Chinese abacus. And what I wanted to do was have the candle here burning while I showed this to you, but unfortunately I couldn't fit it in the shot because I really wanted to have a nice close shot of the abacus. So sorry about that. So I'm going to just do some detail cleaning on some of the beads and in the corners, because this has been sitting in a thrift store, so it's been collecting dust for I don't know how long. So I've dampened some Q-tips with a little bit of wood cleaner. I'm just going to do a little dusting. There have been many different historical accounts of abacus-like tools being used for many hundreds of years in lots of different parts of the world. And they all sort of resemble one another, but they're not identical. The Chinese abacus is, if I'm not mistaken, it's pretty similar to the Roman version. And it's also really similar to its Japanese counterpart. The main difference is that in the Japanese version, this upper deck has only one bead instead of two, and the lower deck has 4 instead of 5. The beads on top are, I believe, known as the heavenly beads, and the beads on the bottom deck, these, are known as earthly beads. Very dusty. You can see kind of how much dust is collected on this. Clean Q-tip. The beads themselves have a lot of dust on them too, so I'm going to clean those as well. A person that uses an abacus is known as, I don't know the perfect pronunciation, but it's either abacist or an abacist. And they are still used today. Being taught in schools in different parts of the world. I was never taught in school how to use one, but I did to learn, just on my own, through my own research, how to do just a pretty basic addition equation. And it's pretty simple. If you think of it like a calculator, just like a digital calculator, then it kind of helps to get your mind around all the beads. But it's really fascinating, and you can do very advanced equations using an abacus. I don't know how to, so you won't be learning that from me today, but I can show you how to do just some simple addition. Very, very, very dusty. Here's another green one. So there are a couple of things that you need to know about how the abacus works before you can use it properly. First thing you need to know is the value of the beads. In the upper deck, the beads are worth 5. So one bead is worth 5. In the lower deck, one bead is worth 1. As you are doing your calculations, the value of the beads is only counted if it is pushed towards the center. If it's away from the center, then it's not counted. So I'm just going to show you a basic addition problem and solve it on the abacus for you. So, as an example, let's say that I have $1,234.56. So the way that we would show that on the abacus is from left to right. And it helps to sort of think about it like a digital calculator. And I'll show you what I mean. So you'll start here with 1,000. So there's your 1. 200. So there's your 2. $34. So here's your 3 and your 4. And 56 cents. Now remember that the upper beads are worth 5. And you may be thinking that we could just since there are 5 beads, we can just push 5 beads towards the center. However, as I mentioned, the bottom row and the top row of the beads on this abacus are not really used for problems like this. I couldn't tell you exactly what their function is because I don't fully understand it, but I think that those are in place for different types of equations, especially hexadecimal calculations. So we just sort of pretend for this purpose that these beads down here and these don't exist. So to mark the number 5, we'll use one of our heavenly beads. That's worth 5. And then for 6, I'm sure you can guess this. You'll start with 5 and add 1. And this is 6. So we have $1,234.56. Now let's say that I want to add $1,111.11. So it's ones across the board. This will not be difficult. So here we go. $1,111.11. So now to solve the equation, all we have to do is read the abacus. So we have 2, 3, 4. Oops. I actually made a mistake. When we added 1, we actually should have just taken away 4 and added 5. Because we don't use these bottom ones. So anyway, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer to our equation is $2,345.67. And that's it. It's a very basic equation using the abacus. So, now you know the very, very, very basic first steps to using an abacus to do calculations. I think it's really fascinating how something that looks so foreign to us with our written numerical system can do such complex calculating. It's really fascinating. brought this home. I showed it to my little boy. And I told him that it's called an abacus. And I asked him to say it back to me. But he could only say apple kiss. And I thought it was very cute. Okay, guys. Well, I very much hope that you have enjoyed this Thrifty Tingles. The first one of 2014. I hope that you have found it interesting and relaxing. And I want to wish you all a restful night's sleep. And pleasant dreams. And I'll be seeing you again very soon. Good night. A honey lemon sugar scrub that has a few more ingredients than the first one, but it smells amazing. And I have personally used both of these before, and I really love the way they make my skin feel.